Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
On News Hour tonight, Independent National Electoral Commission begins collation of presidential election results in Abuja. National Assembly election results announced in some states. Borno State Governor pledges 1 billion naira relief to victims of Maiduguri fire incident. And on the foreign scene, dozens killed as boat carrying migrant refugees sinks off Italy. Hello and welcome to News Hour on Trust TV. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. Now the news in detail. The Independent National Electoral Commission on Sunday announced the 2023 presidential election results for Ekiti State. INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner for Ekiti, Ayobami Salami, reeled out the results at the 2023 Presidential Election Collation Center at the International Conference Center in Abuja. He said Bola Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress polled 210,494 votes, followed by Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party, who scored 89,554 votes. Peter Obi of the Labour Party polled 11,397 votes, while Rabiu Kwankwaso of the New Nigerian People's Party polled 264 votes. INEC National Chairman Mahmoud Yakubu said the commission is still expecting the results of the other 35 states and the Federal Capital Territory and moved the national collation to 11 a.m. on Monday.
The result for Ekiti State duly considered and taken. Collation Secretariat, do we have any more state collation officers and vice chancellors on the queue? No more for today? Okay. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, today, right now, we have only Ekiti State, but we are aware that there will be many more states concluding tonight and coming to Abuja. We'll make a special arrangement to bring them over quickly where there are no commercial flights to bring them and where they are separated by a considerable distance from Abuja. So on this note, and as I said in the afternoon, there will be interludes. We hereby adjourn and reconvene at 11 in the morning tomorrow.
The Independent National Electoral Commission has clarified that the problems encountered with its INEC results viewing portal, IREV, is not an act of sabotage. INEC National Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye, said this on Sunday in Abuja. He acknowledged that the Commission is aware of challenges with the IREV. According to him, unlike in off-season elections where the portal was used, it has been relatively slow and unsteady. He said INEC technical team is working to solve all the outstanding problems, assuring that users of the IREV would have noticed improvements since last night. Earlier today, Trust TV reporter Sagir Ibrahim had a brief chat with the National Commissioner, Voter Education and Publicity, Festus Okoye, at the ICC venue of INEC's National Collation Center for the presidential and senatorial elections. The INEC Commissioner during the chat made some clarifications on issues such as its result viewing portal and deployment of personnel. Take a look.
Well, I cannot in good conscience tell you what the problem is. But all I know is that as at yesterday, I went to the INEC result viewing portal and the results were coming in. And at this morning, I also checked the INEC result viewing portal and the results were coming in. But I have received reports and information that there are a few people or some people are finding it very difficult to log in. And that some people have also complained that some of the results coming in and going out. So I don't know what the technical issues are. I don't know what the technical details are. But the moment I get back to our situation room, we ask the IT people and those who are in charge of the portal whether we have challenges. And if we have challenges, I want to find out the nature of those challenges and what they have done in relation to remedying those challenges. Into some of the challenges we had, mobilizing to the polling units in some parts of the country. Generally speaking, in most parts of the country, we did deploy and we did deploy on time. But there were a few states where we had some challenges. There are some states where some of the transporters we engaged in terms of the drivers backed out at the last moment on grounds of security challenges.
Some of the National Assembly election results from Kano State have started coming in. APC scores 38,943 votes to win Bichi Federal Constituency. NNPP trailed with 15,434 votes. PDP and Labour scored 185 and 166 votes respectively. Total registered voters in the constituency is 55,318. Similarly, returning officer for Rano Kibia Bunkure, Professor Suleiman Yusuf Moody, announced outcome of the election. NNPP garnered 50,160 votes, APC had 35,235 votes, and PDP got 2,234 votes. Total registered voters are 242,339 and 90,131 were accredited. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has been re-elected for the 5th time to represent Surulere 2 Federal Constituency of Lagos State. APC polled 19,717 votes to defeat candidates of other parties. Returning officer of the constituency, Ebere Chukwu Onyene, said PDP scored 5,121 to come second, while Labour Party has no candidate in the election. SDP scored 838 and ZLP scored 660. A lecturer with Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto, Dr. Mikailu Barau, joins us via Zoom from Gusau. Hello, good evening, and thank you for joining us on News Hour.
Hello, good evening. Thank you.
All right, so the turnout for this year's elections is low compared to the previous elections. Now, what do you think is responsible for the low turnout?
Well, for the low turnout of voters in northern Nigeria, it's something that can be established by evidence and data. A number of factors can be associated with that. One, the economic situation of the country that is also linked to the currency redesign and access to cash. Actually, an ordinary voter does not have the cash to take them from one point to another to vote. For example, if the voting point is in any way farther from where they are, and may not even have the cash to have the breakfast and the lunch and bear what it takes to spend the whole day to vote.
Okay, Doctor. Can you hear us? Can you hear me? All right, we'll try to reconnect. Okay. Okay, still here.
All right. The second reason could be in relation to the kind of apathy arising from governance issues. I think an average voter in northern Nigeria had the peak of their hope when APC came to power and President Muhammad Buhari also became the president. And they thought that it would all be a sudden change in their lives And I don't think the governance pattern over the last 8 years has succeeded in delivering that. So that kind of enthusiasm that if we change from this to that, this person to that person, or from this party to that party, the whole life will change. Somehow that has not been achieved, and the enthusiasm has been in a way affected by that. The third potential factor is the security, at least from some of the instances we see around in Zamfara. For example, I know of some polling units that were relocated to safer places. And when the voters were taken, this was Nasarawa in Endo ward of Federal Government of Zamfara State. When the voters were moving from their actual location to the new and safer location for their vote, they were stopped by security men, checking them for about 3 hours, and that really made them not be able to arrive at the new polling unit and be able to vote. The fourth and the last for me is the issue of perhaps perception.
Okay.
We have polling units split in a way. So we are used to seeing voters
Doctor, all right, there was an issue there, a technical issue there, but thank you so much for, sharing with us on News Hour this evening, Doctor. We appreciate your time. All right, moving on to more stories. Collation of presidential election results from the 34 local government area of Katsina State is progressing steadily. At the time of compiling this report, over 17 local governments have submitted their results at the INEC Collation Center in Katsina. Abdullahi Yamadi was there for Trust TV News and now reports.
The Katsina State Coalition Officer for the presidential election, Muazu Abubakar, charged all stakeholders to respect one another and accept the people's verdict in good faith.
This is a business and a serious one, and I want us to take it serious so that we discharge our civic responsibilities in here. We are sent here for an assignment, and we should try to deliver as we are requested.
He also urged the media to uphold the spirit of professionalism and patriotism while dealing with issues of national interest like elections. Local governments coalition officers presented results of their various constituencies during the day's session.
Party ABC 14595. Party PDP 11793. Together we sing. AA 13. AAC 09. ADC 30. APC 11203. APP 03.
Although the exercise is progressing smoothly, issues of delayed arrival of local governments coalition officers are amongst some of the challenges the process is facing. The coalition exercise is expected to run through Sunday night, with the final results expected on Monday. From the results so far collated and the ones that are trickling in, the battle is between the ruling All Progressives Congress APC and the main opposition People's Democratic Party PDP. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Thank you, Abdullahi, for that report. Now, let's move on to more stories. Collation of results in Kaduna South and Kaduna North local government areas were delayed due to commencement of election as results of challenges with beavers machines in some polling units sufficed. Now, the collation officer for the presidential election in Kaduna South local government, Rabiu Abdul Salam, said this while collating results at the Kaduna South local government collation center. The report.
This is INEC office at Kaduna South local government. The collection of results began in the afternoon.
A02, AA05, AAC01.
The collection officer Rabiu Abdusalam says the delay in the collection of results is due to some challenges. He added that the announcement of the results may likely reach Monday.
Our men, those that are the ward collection officers, were not able to come early yesterday. They arrived late at night, and I think they left for their collation areas around after 11 p.m. So I think that was one of the reasons why they were not able to finish early. But thank God that at least they have started coming back, and we're making progress now. And more so that we have some 1-2 wards that have had some problems with the beavers, which that has caused that they have had their elections today, which the election I think ended around 1:30 or 2:30. Seriously, I don't think it will be possible today. Yes. So perhaps it may be late in the night, or perhaps maybe tomorrow morning.
A day after the presidential and National Assembly election, streets in Kaduna are deserted as people remain at home waiting for the announcement of the results. These Okada riders are out to earn a living, but the deserted streets don't favor them.
People stay at home to hear the announcement of the result, coupled with the fact that there is no money in the hands of people.
Vulnerable Nigerians who cast their vote are also waiting for the announcement of the results. Hamis Muhammad is a blind beggar along the Kano Road, a popular location of beggars. He said they are expecting whoever emerges to look into their plight.
We the people with special needs, we have been abandoned. People and the politicians remember us during the election. They should look into our plight.
The time of filing this report, collection of results is still ongoing at the INEC offices in Kaduna South and North local government areas. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Counting of votes is in progress across Benue State after the presidential and National Assembly elections. The exercise is taking place at the INEC headquarters in the state for the presidential election. Jimmy Adzande reports from Makudi.
Prior to the vote count, the Saturday post could not commence as scheduled in some polling units due to logistic challenges. In other polling centers, the exercise went without hitch, as revealed by some voters who shared their experiences. According to the resident electoral commissioner for Benue, the election continued on Sunday in 73 polling units across the state where election could not hold on Saturday. The state collection officer commended the process in Benue.
Those who represent political parties and who get recognition from the state collection officer will be allowed to raise observations and to ask questions. But let me manage your expectation. What we are doing here is not an adjudication process.
There was maximum cooperation, and I think I saw it when I came in the morning and up to this moment. We've had cause to hear so many nasty stories, but in the case of Benue State, I think we are very good to go.
On their parts, party representatives applauded stakeholders for a peaceful conduct across the state.
Of course, we had some little hitches, like some places, certain Form E8 were not, released on time, and some places, these forms were not, after the whole voting, these forms were not available. And so they had to raise complaints. But I think on the general note, the election has been very credible.
I have not received any complaints from members of my team across the state. And so there's a presumption that things were largely done in order.
The Lord have turned out the way many people did not expect, but God has done this work. Anticipating the results, we believe that everybody will take the results and give glory to God for what has happened.
The observers appreciated INEC for the polls in Benue State and said it was an improvement from the past ones.
It went smoothly from the point of additional materials to the various polling units. Everything went, very, very smoothly. There were some little delays here and there, but it's normal because of logistics. Basically, I think the voting was very okay because I was able to traverse up to about 20 to 30 polling units.
As at press time, results from only 2 local government areas were ready and presented, while the center adjourned till 9 p.m. for continuation of the counting process.
Residents of Sokoto State have been reacting to the just concluded presidential and National Assembly elections in the state. Among the many reactions is the belief that the poll was generally peaceful across the state. Yusha'u Adamu speaks to some residents and now reports.
Despite some minor hitches encountered, the presidential and the National Assembly election conducted on Saturday was peaceful in most of the polling units across the state. At the beginning of the exercise, hitches ranging from late arrival of election materials and officials, malfunctions of biomodal voter accreditation system VIVAs, and the mix-up of polling units were experienced.
We actually arrived here late because we could not get the materials in time, and we have to do some preparations when we get here, posting the papers and allowing people to know that this is an election. This is an election area. So it took us some time to do that.
However, the turnout of voters was impressive as electorates trooped to their respective polling units as early as 7 a.m. and waited patiently till the arrival of electoral officers and election materials. Apart from few cases of ballot boxes destruction and the intimidation of voters by some thugs, no case of political violence was recorded in Sokoto. A section of stakeholders have attributed the success recorded at the poll to the introduction of cashless policy and adequate security arrangements.
Some talks attempted or actually did tamper with the election materials. So that is very, very serious and that should be taken seriously. But the proportion of that incident in comparison to the peaceful conduct of election that is going all over the state, I think is insignificant to constitute any major threat. So I hope this is 3 o'clock. In the next 2 hours, I think that's the most critical moment when counting starts, when the losing sides usually get agitated. So we are already appealing to the security agencies who have been tasked to take care of that, to be deployed almost immediately.
Very good, very good. The men are on ground. Elections are going on peacefully. All the security agencies and military are in place. We come out since early in the morning. And so far, we've not had any complaints in Sokoto State. To God be all the glory.
Therefore, voters have called on INEC and the security authorities to improve on their preparations to prevent reoccurrence of similar hitches during the March 11th governorship election. From Sokoto, Yusha'u Adamu, Trust TV News.
Borno State Governor Umar Zulum has announced an emergency relief of 1 billion naira to provide urgent support to victims of the Sunday morning fire that razed the Monday market in Maiduguri. Zulum made the announcement in a statewide broadcast on Sunday. Beatrice Kuruti reports.
The fire, which started about 2:40 a.m. of Sunday morning, razed the interior section of the market and spread to shops and stalls, including banks of the Maiduguri main market. The situation caused panic as some shop owners scavenged for their wares and goods to avoid being impacted by the incident. Some Maiduguri residents expressed shock and can't count their losses turned to ashes.
I cannot count, but it's only God that knows. Only God is what?
it has happened before, but it's not up to this extent. It's not up to this extent.
All my goods have been burned to ashes. I sell jeans, jerseys, packing shirts, and lot more. I'm appealing to the government to please come to our help.
Meanwhile, Borno State Governor, in a live televised broadcast, promised a 1 billion naira relief fund for victims. We are setting up an assessment committee that will comprise respectable individuals from our society, including representatives of the victims, for us to speedily assess damages and take comprehensive list of those affected and their losses. The APC vice presidential candidate Kashim Shettima paid a sympathy visit on the state governor and pledged 100 million naira for the victims of the fire incident.
Most importantly, His Excellency Governor Zulum will lead us to meet with the President this week to solicit for a massive intervention from the federal government.
The Maiduguri market is the biggest commercial center in the northeastern Nigeria, and the incident may take time for residents to bear the disaster. Bitrus Kuruti, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
You're watching News on Trust TV. Coming up after the break, how women turned out in large numbers for the 2023 elections. Stay with us.
Now, as part of efforts to support Africa's goal of strengthening...
Now, looking at the activity chart, as you can see right here, a total volume of 130.
A Boko Haram crisis that at that time was restricted to Yobe.
How secure are they? You can see security men with blood.
This is the road leading up to the...
Already, if you look at English squad, you are looking at EPL, you are looking at their names. You are not looking at...
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining us, you're watching News Hour on Trust TV. A recap of our top stories. We told you that Independent National Electoral Commission begins collation of presidential election results in Abuja. You also heard that National Assembly election results announced in some states. Moving to more stories, collation of the presidential and National Assembly results has commenced amidst tight security at the Independent National Electoral Commission office in Gusau local government area of Zamfara State. The election, which was concluded at most polling units late Saturday, was observed to be peaceful and devoid of violence across the state. The exercise is being carried out in the presence of political party agents, representatives of civil society organizations, security agencies, and the media. There were hitches recorded in some polling units as the bimodal voting accreditation system could not authenticate some registered voters. Some of the voters attributed the delay in the exercise to the transfer of some voters to some of the newly created polling units. Moving on, residents of Lugbe polling unit 009 in the FCT have demanded that they be allowed to exercise their civic responsibility of voting candidates of their choice in the presidential and National Assembly polls. Voting at the polling unit was halted on Saturday when a core member was allegedly caught thumbprinting on the ballot papers before voting commenced. Angered by the development, voters were said to have attacked the core member, a situation that caused chaos in the polling unit before security agents intervened. Noel Sampson visited the polling unit and brings us up to speed.
This is polling unit 009 at Lugbe Primary School in the FCT. There are over 8,000 eligible voters who said they have been unable to vote since Saturday.
A lot of people were here yesterday, people with their babies,
elderly, youths, people of all walks of life. They were here yesterday, and they delayed us. Even the police agents, security agents, they were all here. So what happens is that when we want to, when they accredit, they will not give you ballot paper to vote, not knowing that a copper whom they have colluded with, we are inside printing.
So today, that happened that we did not use our rights yesterday. So today, they tell us to come back, that it will start by 8. Here now is almost getting to 12. Nobody has come.
Yesterday, we couldn't allow to vote here. Reason because the INEC people came. The first thing is that they came late. They came around 11 o'clock. They brought wrong materials to this 009 units.
Meanwhile, voters at polling unit 014, also in Lugbe, complained of late arrival of electoral materials and result sheets, saying they had to sleep at the polling units with the electoral officers.
By the grace of God, we stopped voting by 11:15 p.m. yesterday night. That was when voting stopped. Then we were waiting for the result sheet to come. Eventually, we discovered that the result sheet didn't come from INEC there, who's supposed to give them the result sheet. But this lady did not give them the result sheet, and she dribbled them, that's the ad hoc staff, that they should come to the polling unit, that she was coming with the result sheet. Eventually, from that 12 p.m. yesterday till this morning, we kept calling her. She either will tell her that she has sent somebody to bring it, or she will not pick the call.
Let them come here. They know this place. They were the one that created this unit. They know everything about Lugbe. Lugbe is not a hidden place. Do you understand? Lugbe is not a hidden place. Mr. Biggs is a popular place in Lugbe Federal Housing. So why are they hiding? What are they hiding from? What are they dodging? Do you understand me? Now, at the end of the whole thing, till now, tension is very high. People are not happy. Everything is not going down well. Today now, we are waiting. Do you know that till now, this is the moment the lady is just arriving? Since yesterday, look at people crying. A lot of husbands, wives, children, everybody. You understand?
They are calling on the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to do the needful to enable them vote. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Voters have adjudged the conduct of Saturday's presidential and National Assembly elections as peaceful across Nasarawa State. Abubakar Abdullahi, who is monitoring events in the state, said the exercise is now at wards and local government centers for results collation. The report is presented from our studio.
The process of accreditation and voting in this year's presidential and National Assembly elections has ended at over 3,000 polling units across Nasarawa State. Presently, wards and local government returning officers are collating the results of polling units and wards for further compilation before the final declaration of winners. A visit to some of these collation centres reveals that INEC staff and party agents were seen submitting and collating the results. Party agents and other stakeholders at the Gayam and Chiroma wards in Lafia local government lauded INEC and other stakeholders for a peaceful poll and hope that their respective parties will emerge victorious.
Exercising their rights with less stress and frustration, and we have also discovered that this election is based on candidates, not based on party system, such that you discover that the presidential candidate of Party X is leading, while the House of Rep or senatorial candidate is not winning. And you go to another collation center, you discover the senator is leading or the reps is leading, while the presidential candidate of that same party is not leading. So people are actually exercising their franchise based on the candidate's credibility.
So far, this is the best election ever conducted in the country, and because the election is violence-free, there's no much hitches. Alhamdulillah, it is wonderful. So far, so good. The fight that took place just now, a few minutes ago, it was just a sort of misunderstanding between the agents and the return officer. She mispronounced a figure of a vote located to a certain party to another party. So that is what made the uproar. It was scrolled down and everything is okay now.
Thank you. At the time of filing this report, some of the collation centres were yet to be opened.
The presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the Saturday election, Atiku Abubakar, has won 20 out of 30 local government areas in Osun State. He is followed closely by the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu, who won 10 local government areas of the state. This was according to the results collated and officially announced by the INEC State Collation Officer for the presidential election for Lashade Ogunshola at the INEC headquarters in Oshogbo on Sunday. Hamid Oyegbade reports.
Out of the 1,954,800 registered voters in Osun State, 759,362 were accredited for the elections. The total vote cast in the state was 756,744. INEC State Coalition Officer for the presidential election for Lashade Ogunshola announced that Atiku Abubakar of PDP scored 354,366 votes, while Bola Tinubu of APC scored 343,945 votes. The candidate of Labour Party, Peter Obi, got 23,283 votes, while Rabiu Musa of NNPP got 713 votes. Out of the 733,203 total valid votes, there were 23,541 rejected votes.
The number of registered voters in Osun State was 1,954,800. The number of accredited voters, 1,954,800. The total number of accredited voters was 759,362.
Agents of political parties expressed satisfaction with the process and commended INEC for the hitch-free exercise.
The collation has been very hitch-free, in the sense that all the local government collation officers and the electoral officers did wonderful jobs from their various domains and brought it here, and they were acceptable.
About Osun collation, largely it reflects what is coming from the local government, and so it is for the local government agents and those who collected the results from such places to indicate whether it was a true reflection of what happened in their local governments. So that will have to come from all the parties at the end of the day.
This is the normal practice for those of us that have been doing it for quite some time. I think it is normal, even though it's dragging because there are three elections. So when you have three elections and collation is going on simultaneously at various levels, there's bound to be complicity.
We had our agents at each polling unit, and we already have the results. And we have been comparing the results from each polling unit, the ward, the local government, from what the collation officers were presenting. And so far, so good. It has been in tandem with what is in our records.
Meanwhile, PDP won all the 3 senatorial and 9 House of Representatives seats in the state. Hamid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Oshogbo.
Some electorates in Lagos State have applauded the Independent National Electoral Commission for introducing beavers into 2023 election. Trust TV's Abbas Ibrahim, who observed the election in Agege, Ikeja, Mushin and Diaraba area of Lagos State, said the exercise was orderly and peaceful, even though it recorded low turnout. The report.
Election materials in some areas of Agege and Yanakwaja were distributed around 8 a.m. However, some electorates complained about the late arrival of the electoral officials in their polling units. Emeka Okafor was the first person to vote in his polling unit in Ikeja, said the process went well.
Everything went well.
However, I noticed that there was lack of trained INEC official in this polling unit. I don't know, maybe they didn't train them very well before they came here, so there were some disparities in the operation. So, but we appreciate God that everything went well, and I've casted my votes. I noticed around that there's limited security. I can't really even see any security personnel here.
He said using the VBAS is a plus to the electoral process in Nigeria.
It's a plus, but I think I would recommend that Nigeria go a step further. This is a plus, but we can do better. Instead of making it a hybrid, we can make it fully electronic, where your fingerprint is your identity, and you can just vote directly through the machine and not adding an extra layer on top of it.
Another voter, George Wachuku, said the difference between the 2023 election and the previous ones is clear.
I can say the difference is clear. It's very, very okay. Yeah, because I've been voting since the democratic period. What I discovered today is that they really did a good job. Okay. There was no hassling, unlike the recent one. We know what we saw. You know, after accreditation, people begin to line up, and there was pushing and other things. But today, you just go straight, they capture you, you vote. Okay. To me, I think they did a very great job. You know, last time, I think there was a machine they used last time. But this beaver seems to be simpler because it doesn't take time to capture. Merely you get there, they will capture you. So my advice is that our government should try to upgrade more on these beavers so that next time we even see it easier than what we saw today.
Babatunde Oluwafemi, a presiding officer and a serving COF member, said the election went smoothly in Ojota area of Lagos.
Yes.
Okay, is there any challenge?
No, it has been working excellently well.
Okay,
it has been working very well, yes sir.
Okay, how about the turnout of the people?
The turnout is sincerely, the turnout is fair, but not that encouraging. Okay. Not like what we are expecting. Okay. Yes.
So, in most polling units visited by Trust TV in Lagos, the electorate cast their vote peacefully and waited till the votes were counted. Abbas Ibrahim Alibi, Trust TV, Lagos.
Hundreds of thousands of women on Saturday participated in the presidential and National Assembly elections in Jos, the Plateau State capital, which held across the country. Some of the women who waited long hours at various polling units told Trust TV what motivated them to come out in their numbers for the poll. Ado Musa completes the report.
Women have been known to often complain about non-inclusiveness in governance, despite their massive participation during every election cycle in the country. In this year's general elections, the story is not different, as women in Jos came out in their numbers to vote candidates of their choice.
I'm at this polling unit to cast my vote because I want a leader that will provide good governance for me and other Nigerians.
We are here for election to vote who we want. It's important what we want, the people and the person we are voting. For him to just be sure that we just do whatever we want.
We're doing this because of the future of children who need schools and other social amenities. Our major problem is to have potable water, schools, and road, which are essential to all. We came to exercise our civic right as citizens of the country. Beyond that, we have problems within our communities, which require a patriotic leader to address. So these are some of the reasons we are here.
Thousands of women have come out to cast their votes across the polling booths visited in Jos, with many hoping for a better country through leaders that will emerge after the polls. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
The police in Jalingo, the Taraba state capital, have confirmed the killing of one person in Jalingo. Unconfirmed reports suggest that the victim is a member of a vigilante group of Nigeria who was shot by a soldier after a scuffle. Police spokesman Usman Abdullahi confirmed the incident to Trust TV. The area commandant of the Vigilante Group of Nigeria, Munir Bello, who also confirmed the incident, however, said the deceased was not their member.
I have received a call message yesterday morning that one of our members was shot at the Karofi site, CBN site, Jalingo, new CBN site. He is reporting to me that the patient was taken to the hospital, FMC, Jalingo. So I go to FMC by myself to identify who is the person that was shot by the military. And we have identified the name of the suspect and his face. So from then I called all the unit commanders of that location to identify whether if we have a member with this name and with this face. So they have all did not recognize him. So after then I have officially came to the office to check our records to know whether that very person that was shows whether is our member or not. We have cross-checked through our through the admin state command all the database of our members in Taraba State. His name was not found. So actually, that person that was shot yesterday morning is not our member.
We have patrol teams stop and search, trying to enforce the restitution movement order issued by the Inspector General of Police, Usman Babakali, PSC Daga, FDC, MNI, GCFR. On the process, someone was sighted riding a motorcycle coming towards the time that elections was about to take place. Accreditations were going on, so the restitution movement order have been put in place. People were restricted to move on vehicles, motorcycles. So this very gentleman was seen on a motorcycle. He was stopped by the military patrol team, and then to question him as why is it on motorcycle now when movement are restricted. Then he couldn't stop. He took to his heels. He became so suspicious. He could not give a satisfactory account of himself. Hence, what happened has happened. Unfortunately, he paid the supreme price because he could not stop for questioning.
Zamfara State Governor Bello Matawalle of Zamfara has signed into law the bill establishing the State Anti-Thuggery Agency. This is contained in a statement issued in Gusau on Sunday by the press secretary to the governor, Jamilu Ilyasu. Matawalle had in February 2022 issued an executive order setting up a committee to tackle thuggery, drug abuse and related offences in the state. The governor said the agency was established by his administration to complement the efforts of security agencies in curtailing thuggery-related cases in the state. He added that the agency would also help to inculcate good morals in the youths towards a more decent society. You're still watching News on Trust TV. We'll be back after the break.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Moving on to the international scene, at least 58 people, including children, have died after a boat carrying migrants and refugees sank off the Italian coastal city of Crotone in the southern region of Calabria. The vessel had set sail from Turkey several days ago with migrants from Afghanistan, Iran and several other countries and crashed on Sunday in stormy weather near Steccato di Cutro, a seaside resort on the eastern coast of Calabria. The provisional death toll stood at 58, Manuela Cura, a provincial government official, told the Reuters news agency. 81 people survived, with 20 hospitalized, including one person in intensive care, she said. The Guardia di Finanza Customs Police said one survivor was arrested on migrant trafficking charges. A court in Paris has sentenced Moroccan singer Saad Lemjared to 6 years in prison. The 6-member jury and 3 magistrates found the singer guilty of raping a French woman at a luxury hotel on Champs-Élysées in October 2016 while drunk and under the influence of cocaine. During the trial, Lemjared had denied the allegations of rape and assault on Laura P., who was 20 at the time. The 37-year-old famous singer was expected to be imprisoned on Friday. Lemjared is one of the world's most popular artists. In his home country Morocco, King Mohammed V awarded him the highest national honor in 2015. And finally, in sports, Flying Eagles head coach Ladan Bosso has praised his players for executing their plans in the win against Mozambique on Saturday night. The West Africans zoomed into the quarterfinals following a 2-0 victory against the young members at the Suez Canal Stadium, Ismailia. Samson Lawal and Ibrahim Mohammed scored 2 sublime goals for Bosso's side in the first half. The 7-time champions finished in second position in a Group A behind the Cubs of Senegal. The Flying Eagles will know their quarterfinal opponent on Monday. And with that, we've come to the end of News Hour on Trust TV. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. Thanks for watching.
From the Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.